Hello, my name is Nicholas, and I have been sober for going on right around 5 years at this point. I'm 28. No, right around four and a half. So I wanted to let you know how I put down the bottle, how I put down the cans, all of that. Let me go ahead and get safe real quick. Hey. I should have really been doing that whenever I was riding around and drinking all the daggone time. But, so my journey starts, let's say, when was the very first time that I really started drinking? So before I got into all the partying and whatnot, I thought it was a very interesting topic, the manufacture of alcohol. And all of the history behind it, all of the different people, who've done it in the past, from the Romans to monks, and I'm not sure about the history of like South American alcohol, like let's say like tequila, for instance, or like agave-based drinks, which I'm pretty sure were pretty popular because agave is so sweet and tastes good. So, yeah, but I was interested at the very least in wine production and I'd say somewhat beer. But that obsession, which I always obsessed about random topics whenever I was younger, and I'm pretty much still that same way. Like, I'll get stuck on something, a specific topic, and that's what I'll be interested in learning about. So I took, or let's say, the very first day I went to the store, bought a bottle of Welch's grape juice, and I threw some sugar and some bread yeast into it. You combine those and you open up the lid a little bit to let the CO2 production from the yeast out, and you'll have wine in pretty much no time. So that's what I did, and I did that a few times, and a few times I brought that to high school. So for you guys, shout out to you guys that went to high school with me. If you guys are looking at what I'm talking about right now, or learn from me, but I brought it to school. Didn't really make that much of a habit because of how freaking strong the smell would be. I mean, this is some unrefined wine. Wine in general is more than enough to stink up whatever, especially red wine. So, anyways, I did that, but mostly I did a lot of drinking on my own, because it was me making it, so when I get drunk off of it. And that's kind of pretty much where that ended off mostly. Not too long after that point, because that would have been maybe my 8th grade summer into my 9th grade year of high school, and some of the beginning stages of high school for me. So after that point, I started realizing that there was this store near my house that I was in literal walking distance to, that wouldn't ID me for the drinks that I was getting, and I could go in there and just buy some stuff. So I did that, and I guess got this stuff kind of kicked off. So trying different wines that they had. All of their products were, I'm not going to say trash, but I mean, I'm pretty sure most people would consider like Barefoot wine, for instance, to be pretty much trash. But that Four Locos, that's definitely trash and horrible for you, your life. But I didn't get into beer at that point, and I also didn't get into liquor just because they didn't sell it. I would have bought it if they sold it, probably. And that was the beginning. But you could definitely say I was in the early stages of becoming an alcoholic, even at that point, because I was drinking every weekend. I wasn't getting like as wasted as I would get later on, and I'm gonna tell you about it, so stay tuned. But kind of a gradual thing. After that point, I went off, got shipped off to the Air Force, and started doing tech school and all of that stuff. I didn't drink anything in basic training, of course, because we're in basic training. But in tech school, though, man, I got wasted. It's like, what's going on? I don't understand. Yeah, man, because you wasted, brother. You drunk. Do you not know that? Do you not smell the fact that there's alcohol coming directly out of your pores? I didn't notice because I was wasted all the time, but a lot of people have noted to me from the past that they could smell it on me, which, like, I'm pretty sure I just smell like I just kind of like bathe in hand sanitizer or something like that from the amount that I used to drink. But tech school, what we was doing, this is not advice. This is none of that, but it is also my story. We were taking water bottles. We pour the water out because who needs that? And we was pouring Smirnoff up in there. I mean, I don't know who the heck needs Smirnoff either, but we did. I even remember specifically taking my key, and like, not only did I scratch the ones that actually had the alcohol in there, but I put the flavoring of it. So I think I had like strawberry, like a S for strawberry, K for kiwi. I think there's one that was blueberry, so a B on there, and then maybe it was like cherry and C for that. So all of that, and we were able to get away with drinking them, because the reason why I'm actually having to hide any of this stuff is because we weren't really supposed to be doing that in tech school. But at the same time, they had a bar on base and you could go there. I know, so regardless of how old you were, right? Like, so let's say that you got there and you were 23, well above drinking age. I think what you had to do is kind of like stay out of everything. Kind of like when you first got there and you still had to wear like your PT stuff that you were doing in basic training, and then you slowly could wear your civilian stuff, but you still couldn't go out and drink and leave base, and then you could eventually. And so that's to weed. I think that they started that process to kind of weed out people who would immediately go back to all of the bad stuff that they were planning on doing and had been doing before they got into the military, immediately back into being an alcoholic and smoking a pack a day or something. Which, I mean, once we got off that break, that's what we was doing. That's why I kind of want to show you the continuation from the point before, where I had been drinking in high school, and at the tail end of high school, a drop off through basic, no drinking, and then picking it up basically. But yeah, we was getting wasted a lot, out of control. We was crazy for some of the stuff that we was doing. Got out of there, luckily. Didn't get kicked out like a lot of my friends. But not a lot, but a few of my friends at that stage ended up getting kicked out just because we was just wilding out of control, man. You probably don't know, but I'm telling you about it. So, hey, listen up. After that point, I would say I got to my base, and the floodgates opened up. And behind that floodgate was a lot of beer and liquor and all assortments of alcohol possible. I used to actually consider myself a collector of alcohols, at least specific beers. I really like, I liked me a German beer in the past, and I go out my way to find, decent variety, the spice of life. So I did that for a while, and it started affecting my life, and there is really no cutoff here. I mean, until I get to, later on in the story, but there's no cutoff point here. There is no like reconsideration of like, is this what I really want to do? Is like be drunk all the time? I'm finna get studious for you guys. Hey, second button action up here. Yeah, we studying. Oh, let me fix my collar. Okay. All right. Anyways, so we studying stuff over here. We studying life and how you can screw it up with a specific liquid. One that definitely tried to screw mine up. I'm not giving agency to alcohol though. That was all me. So drinking and getting drunk every day that I went to work with everybody that I hung out with. We would have crazy parties in the dorms, college style toga parties. It wasn't togas. It was just the atmosphere. It was just the amount of alcohol and the amount of unruliness that we had gone on up in that place. The amount of fooling about. Throwing windows out the top floor, or not windows, I don't know why I would say that. I mean, throwing microwaves out the window of the top floor. Random assortment of stuff that would be like in the top floor. There's like a community kitchen in the top floor, so like random stuff out of the top floor dishwasher. People running to their room to get random stuff to throw out, like a fan, or I think one dude threw like a small TV or something out. It was crazy, bro. Anyways, so wildin', and I met my wife. Because on, part-time to all of this drinking, I was doing even more drinking at the club. So I didn't meet my wife at the club, but we would go out, with each other. I would go out. We had mutual friends that were also a couple that we would kind of mutually club with. And it was cool. You asked me, just for a little while. And the reason why I say that is because, like, when we first met, me and my wife, things were tameable, as in like the alcoholism, but shortly after that, let's say like a month after that time period, I was deep in it, man. I was tripping, drinking entirely too much, to where I started being late from it, started arguments between me and my wife, health effects. For some odd reason, comment below if this ever happened to you, but I was like randomly sleepwalking sometimes. It did like some biological work on me. It's pretty screwed up. It probably destroyed my bladder. That's for sure, because of constantly having to pee. I think there's some sort of chemical or something that's in alcohol that makes you feel like you need to go pee a lot more than you normally would if, let's say, you were drinking water or something like that. more healthy and 100% more sober, 112% more sober because of how blackout drunk I was all the freaking time. But I'd say trying to get it together for us in our relationship, this being my soon-to-be wife then and my now wife, and our future child and my now daughter. I just knew that, one, I think it was because I had a pretty decent relationship with another substance, marijuana, before alcohol. And I realized, like, you can, like, there is better things for you, basically. Like, because of all the destruction and whatnot that alcohol caused mentally, physically, and how many ever other types of ways for me. Like, I just realized that this isn't it. I have in the past found something that was at least slightly better, or probably leaps and bounds better health-wise, as well as mentally, and every other thing in between that, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, it was like a mix of those realizations, thoughts, just trajectory analysis. Like, whenever you see a car going somewhere really fast and there's another car stopped, you're like, that's not going to end well. If you see some guy with like really long arms or something like that, and he's pretty decently tall, throw a football, I mean, you know, that's going to go far. You can watch the trajectory. Maybe it's going to hit a pole or something, or some kid that wasn't like looking out for what was going on or something like that. But and then I could just see the same for, you know, it had already done damage to me, to my career, to some of the people around me, especially my wife, or soon-to-be wife at that time. So it was no place. I mean, unless I just want to be a damaged person and just kind of continue just screwing stuff up, and yeah. But I didn't think that was like necessarily the best option, because that sounded unreasonable, to say the least. So yeah, that was my journey. An interesting subject turned into a life deteriorating hobby, and turn into strong reasons to completely subtract that from my life. Hopefully this helps you. Check the link in the description below if you want to talk about your situation and trying to get past it. And check out my website also, where I have digital products related to the same thing. Thank you.